Anna. Sorry we're running a little late. What had happened? Oh, I met you earlier. You didn't have your hat on. We all look about the same with our helmets on now. Kind of scary. Okay, so Hannah, tell me about your course. What's up with this young man? What are you working on? Uh-huh.
She's looking at me. Should I leave? I think I'm making her nervous.
All right, that's a good thing to work on. And so, when you work on that, what are the kinds of exercises that you find helpful to get that connection? You do spiral in, spiral out. You do smaller circles, straight circle, legio. Good. You know, that's kind of normal, all right? And so, one of your responsibilities, how old are you now? 14. So one of your responsibilities, this is going to be good news and it's going to be bad news. Which one do you want first? You got to pick one. Okay, the good news is, this is going to be an important lesson for you to learn in your riding career. And the bad news is you're not going to necessarily like it right away. You'll kind of learn to like it, right? Because at your age, all right, there's a tendency to become nonverbal, right? But in my world, I ask questions, and then you have to force yourself to answer. Now, why don't people like to answer questions? What are they afraid of? Okay, so here's the truth. You're going to get some of the questions wrong, but you're going to get most of the questions right. And I promise not to ask a question that you probably don't know the answer to. And if I do ask you a question where you probably don't know the answer, I'm going to give you a big, major, gigantic hint. All right? But the reason this is important, all right, is in your growth as a rider, is now, from now on, you'll probably, because you have your trainers here, and you notice that the trainer sits here, right? So why do you think she sits here? I think it's because she likes you, because she really thinks you're so special. No. Right? You may be, and she may like you, that's not why she's sitting here. Why is she sitting here? What does she want to know? Well, that's not, that answer won't cut it. But why did you sit here? Guess. She wanted to know. That might be a very important thing. She might want to find out whether I see something that she hasn't seen. She might want to find out that I tell, because we've had lots of conversations sitting here, I might tell her I really like something about what you're doing. Right? So that tells her, oh good, I'm on the right track, helping her to be a better rider. And because sometimes when you teach somebody a lot, it happens in my barn too, I hire people to come in and do clinics at my barn, and I sit and watch, just like Sarah's sitting and watching, because I want to find out if I'm on the right track. If I am, I want to keep going that way. And I also want to find out if maybe because I'm always working with somebody, if I miss something, if something that they see. And I don't always agree with the person who's doing the clinic either. Sometimes I have different ideas. What I'll tend to do is I'll tend to kind of work on the thing that the person said was important, and I'll identify from doing that whether or not it really was something important or maybe they misinterpreted something. People make mistakes. I made a mistake once in 1972. I remember it really clearly. Right? That's the last one. So a long distance you should never see. So I'm going to do that. I didn't make it, by the way, over the distance or the jump. So we're going to work on you communicating, because from that we know what you're working on. That make sense? Okay, so let's go on a nice circle to the right. You're going to have to talk to me, aren't you? Guess what? You won't die. It will not kill you. It may kill me trying to get you to talk, but you're gonna. Okay, so make your circle a little more towards me and not so close to the wall. We're gonna kind of stay away from the wall.
Can you do this for a second?
There's a couple of very good reasons to stay off the wall. The number one reason is the footing is always better about a meter, which is a little bit over 3 feet, to the inside of the little rut that goes around the outside of the arena. So it's smart for you to keep your horse sounder for a longer period of time so to not get stuck on the rail. There is a benefit to being on the rail, particularly before you go to shows, so that you aren't afraid to go on the wall in the arena, right? But for daily homework, I tend to stay a little off the wall. Okay, so we're going to go to the trot in a moment, and we're going to focus on establishing our forward movement and our contact. So when you're ready, trot rising, and work on establishing forward movement and your contact. Good. So that circuit is just a little bit rounder, it's a little bit of an oval shape. So I love your contact. Your contact's actually quite good. However, your forward movement is just a little bit on the weak side. So tell me how you're going to get more forward movement. What are you going to do? Good. With what? With what? With your nose, your ears?
My legs.
With your legs. Okay, so let me see your legs. Ask him to go more forward. Very good. Now, when he went more forward, did he get less round in his neck or more round in his neck? More round in his neck. Because this is one of your goals, is to get that rounder frame. Going forward helped you, didn't it? Yeah, so get forward. Just more work. There you go. Keep your hands very quiet. Nicely done. Change direction to the center of your circle, keeping your eyes looking up at where you're going. Very nice. Now I really like that. Actually kind of unusual for a young rider to be that accurate in making her changes to the center of your circle. It's super accurate. You divided your circle almost exactly in half, which is very important. So now in this direction, your horse is arguing with one of your legs. Which leg is he arguing with? Really? And your second guess? Inside leg. Good job. Inside leg. Arch outside falling in right there? Yeah, there you go. Very nice. So keep that inside leg super active. Away from that inside leg. Very nice. Gradually spiral in, gradually spiral out. Yeah, keeping your correct bend and flexion. Thank you for giving me back that forward. That was really important. And gradually spiral out. Well done. Okay, now go back to the walk and rest. Okay, so there are moments when you're spiraling in and spiraling out. There's always going to be moments where the horse changes their behavior and appears to really want to stretch down and be a little rounder. Did you notice that? So the reason that happens is one of two things. As you're spiraling inward, it may be that you've achieved the appropriate amount of bend to stimulate the horse to stretch, because bend is a part of it. And as you're going outward, it may be because in that moment of outward movement, you push the inside hind leg of the horse under the body far enough that it also motivates the horse to stretch a little bit more. So there's usually two things which develop the willingness of the horse to stretch round. One is the amount of bend, and two is the amount of placement of the inside hind leg under the horse's body. All right, so Does a horse have or does a horse not have a belly button? No? All right, so let me ask you the question a slightly different way. Are there any mammals that don't have belly buttons? Mammals. No. So, is the horse a mammal? Yeah. So, does it have a belly button? Yeah. Horses have belly buttons. Yeah. It was a pretty good guess because horses have unusual belly buttons for the most part, in that right after they're born, that area of their body actually seals together super tightly in most cases. So it basically doesn't look like a belly button. But if you look carefully, you'll see a little ridge down. It's kind of a little, if he'll let you do it, you're careful, because he may kick you if you get down. Because I don't know about you, but if anybody sticks their finger into my belly button, I want to slap them good, right? So you got to be super careful, kind of work back from the girth, and you could actually feel it. Now the reason that's important to know is that's where you're actually trying to push his inside hind leg. You're trying to push his inside hind leg right under his belly button, because that's where his balance is, right? Now, he doesn't want it to be there. He wants it to be out in back of him, so it can stay in his more natural state with his weight more on the forehand, all right? So, earlier I asked you the question, what movement was more likely to get the horse's inside hind leg under? What did you say? Leg what? Say it again. It's a lateral movement called leg yielding, exactly. So the point of leg yield is to train the horse's inside hind leg to step under his body. Fair enough? Also about your outside rein. So we're going to start with some really easy ones. You're going to pick up the trot, and you're going to turn down your quarter line on my side and leg yield right to the wall. Now first we're going to make one more large circle and really get him going forward. I like the fact you opened your inside rein and went for a little more bend. That was good, but it's not forward enough. Not forward enough. Not forward enough. Not forward enough. So what are you going to do? I would try the canter. Go forward in the canter. Go on. Good. And now come back to the trot. There we go. So that's a really simple way to get the horse to go forward, is to use another gait. So when you're ready now, down the quarter line. Got a love-hate relationship with this. And leg yield right to your wall. Well done. Do that again from the next quarter line. Good. Okay. Come on over here. That's pretty easy, isn't it? And walk. So now we're going to do a little bit of a harder way. And walk right over here. And halt right about there. Okay, so the leg yield from the corner line out it's a very traditional way of doing it, but it has its issues, right? Horses kind of like doing that anyway, kind of falling out of their circles, moving toward the rail is something that they're sort of natural doing. So it's a good thing to learn, but at some point we have to become more accountable to keeping the horse's body just a little bit straighter. Now, there's nothing wrong with using a leg yield with more bend to make the horse more supple, but clearly he's accomplished that. So now your responsibility is going to be straightening his body a little bit. So a couple little rules for you to remember as we go through this. Number one, leg yield can be done on any line and away from either leg. It can be done on any line. So we have different kinds of lines in our dressage ring. We have lines which are parallel to the rail, border line, center line, etc. We also have circular lines, 20 meters, 15 meters, and 10 meters. And we also have diagonal lines. Now, at your level, you know the big diagonal, right? KXM and FXH, the big ones. But a diagonal is any line which is not parallel. It's not a circle, it's not a curve, and it's not parallel to the center line. So, for example, when you went from here, the borderline over to the wall, that's a form of diagonal line, isn't it? It goes on an angle to the rail. So those are a little easier than doing leg yield either on a circle or on a straight line. So now we're going to do it on a straight line, this wall. So walk over here once. We're going to do it at the walk, and listen carefully to how I describe it to you. We're going to go on the wall. You're going to counterflex your horse a little bit to the right, all the way to the wall. Counterflex to the right. So you're going to turn his nose to the outside. And now with your right leg yield his haunches to your left, but keep his shoulders on the wall. That's the job of your left rein and your left leg. Good. Now look behind you at his butt. Look at the wall. Look at his butt. Look at the wall. So when you do that, you can kind of see how much angle you have. There, I was better. Do that again the next long side without so much bend in the neck. The neck was a little bit overbent. So have you ever skied? Have you skied? Or do you snowboard? Ski? Okay, so it's like making a piece of pizza when you first learned how to ski. Remember they made you make a pizza? All right, so when you look back between the wall and his butt, figure out how big a slice of pizza you have. Okay, so flex to the right. And now move his haunches to your left. Keep his shoulders on the wall. Now, make a bigger piece of crust. Keep his nose on the wall. Push his butt further off the rail. Good. Now halt for a second. Halt. And now increase the angle. Move the haunches more towards me. Excellent. Whoa, that's pretty dramatic. So now, not quite that much. Walk down the wall. Walk down. Okay, now walk down the wall with that, not quite as much angle as you had at the National Guard. Good girl. Now march, make it a nice walk. Nice, there you go.
Out like
a little more angle, look behind you.
Navy,
Keep his neck straighter with your left rein. Move his butt a little further to the inside. And halt. And move his butt halt, and move his butt over one step. Halt, good. Now move his butt towards me. One step, that's enough. Good. Now walk towards me in the same part. One step on. Do it here on the short side. Do it right here on the short side. Come towards me. Good. Flex a little right. Move the haunches left. Good. Now halt. And only take one step over. That's plenty. Whoa. Now try to walk towards me with that angle. Yeah, nice. Nice. Excellent. And straight. Good. Now we're going to make a 20-meter circle. Now, actually, go ahead back to the halt again. Now, the key to this is I need you to be able to look sometime to see where you're at. So, did you notice how easy it was to get him to move his haunches over when you stopped? Not so easy when he's moving, right? So, there's something in between halting, right, and going forward. It's halfway to a halt. What do we call that? Halfway, very good, the half halt. Okay, so a half halt is almost stopping him and moving his butt over. So when you stopped him over there to do that, which rein did you have to use more than the other to stop him? The left rein or the right rein? And your second guess, left rein. So you're going to stop him because his shoulder wants to lead, which is normal. So your left rein has to slow him a little bit as you move the haunches over. So always think outside rein to slow, move his butt. Now that's the outside rein of the bend, right? Not the rim. Okay, so go ahead with the trot, on the circle, look at him going forward. Nice. I like it. Keep those eyes nicely focused up. Ask him to stretch by going forward and relaxing your arms. Nice. Oh, very good stretch. Now on this next long side, we're going to ever so gently counter flex. Counter flex right. Throw his shoulders with your left rein. Move his butt to the left. Yes. Good job. And straighten. Now his neck straighten. Now his neck got a little bit overbent. So I need you to use that left rein and slow his shoulders more. Good. Now slow his shoulders, move his haunches. Pretend like you're going to go to the walk and move his butt over. Slower than that. Now move his butt. And walk and move his butt over. There you go. And straighten and trot. Now every time you're moving his butt over, you're actually bending his neck more too, okay? Don't bend his neck more. And trot. We'll get you really coordinated about this. Thank you for fixing your diagonal. On the rail, counter flex. Yeah, feel your left rein and slow his shoulders. There you go. There you go. That's it. You did it. That's your movement. Now his right hind leg is under his belly button. Good job. And reverse. Way better. Change direction. Reverse. You say reverse in Australia, they back up.
They just throw on the brakes, start heading backwards.
So you don't say reverse. So think about it, it kind of makes sense.
Yep.
Good job. A little more forward in the trot. Nice. And again, notice that as you add that forward movement, he begins stretching, doesn't he?
Yep.
So that forward movement is super important. Now on the next long side, counter flex and leg yield the haunches to your right. We're using that. Oh, that's very down. Straighten the neck with the right rein. And increase your left. Straighten the neck with the right rein. Thank you. Do that again. We've got to keep that neck straighter this time. Well, actually not we, you. Thank you. Thank you. There's your movement, right there. What does that feel like as far as the roundness when you do that?
Wait, really?
Yeah. Good, bad, indifferent? What? Good, yeah, good. So you can see that he's round, correct?
Yeah.
So now when we say good, is he super light or do you feel there's quite a bit of contact there? Yes, the contact. So when a horse is really connected, they're there. They're not heavy, but they're also not super light. All right. You want to feel some sense of coordination in your hand. So now, just for the sake of discussion, let me see you wiggle the bit around and make him really round by wiggling the bit. How much pressure do you feel on the bit there? None, right? So that's not connection. It's actually breaking the connection because he's just flexing his neck. All right. So any monkey can do that, right? So we don't want to do that. We want to be a good rider that feels that nice elasticity. Now, when you keep the horse that straight, all right, and then you can think about allowing a little bit with your elbow, and he will get a little bit lighter. It'll feel a little more elastic, but he won't get as curled behind the bit as he would if you wiggled the bit around, right? So now go on a circle. So now we're going to work on a little bit of canter. I have to see what your canter trot transition looks like. So we only did a couple of the different variations, leg yields. There's lots of ways of doing it. Sarah will continue your education on how many different kinds of ways you can get into leg yield. So when you're ready, go to the trot, sitting this time. Now, to get into stretch, what was the first thing that made you more effective? Forward movement. So keep that forward. Come on, forward movement. There you go. Good job. And the next thing we worked on was getting his inside hind leg more under his body. So let me see your right rein and your left leg get his inside hind leg farther under his body. Thank you. Keep doing that. Don't be resisting your arms. Be supple. Move that inside hind leg. Hold with that outside rein. There you go. And canter. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. And all the way back to the trot. Let's do a little experiment. What I want you to do next is you're going to do everything exactly the same. But when you're ready to go to the canter, I want you to actually push both your reins forward to a loop and not touch his mouth at all when you canter. So sit, push his inside hind leg under. Wait, not yet, not yet. You can't canter until he stretches. Keep your hands steady. There, now let go and canter. Push your hands forward and canter. Let go. Thank you. Good. We'll do that a few more times. All the way back to the trot. Push his hind legs a little out from your inside leg. There, let go and canter. Yeah, very much better. I like that a lot better. Very nice. Back to the trot. We're going to try something a little bit different. Counter flex right. Counter flex right. Very good. Now push just your left hand forward and canter. Just your left hand forward and canter. Good girl. You can keep him counter flex. Yeah, keep him counter flex. There you go. Thank you. Right there. Beautiful. Now back a little bit to your right there. No more left flexion than that. Yeah, a little more than that. A little left flexion. Flex into the inside. There you go. And then back to the trot. Good job. Soften your elbows. Nice. A little more forward trot, more energy. Keep your elbows nice and soft. And counter flex gently to the right. Leg yield him off your right leg a little bit. Good. And let go of the left rein and canter. Use your outside leg. Yep, let go. Now canter. Do it. Don't worry, you won't get the wrong lead. There you go. So that's going to help you to keep him a little bit from getting fussy with his nose. And back to the trot and change direction. We'll try the same thing the other way. Okay, you're doing pretty good and you change the direction. So we're going to try the more traditional way of doing it first, which is first get him going forward, which is releasing your right rein into the canter. So when you're ready, push your right hand forward and canter. Push it forward and canter. Good, do it. Good girl. And now come back to the trot. We're going to try the non-traditional way, at least in your generation. So nice forward trot. Go, 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 go. My grandmother goes that forward. Come on. There you go. Thank you. Counterflex. More counterflexion. Counter. Counter. Outside. Counter means to